So as I've started making these videos, and even prior to that, probably the top two questions I receive from friends are, how do I open up an account to start investing, buying things like stocks and things like that, and which stocks do I buy? So this particular video today, we're going to deal with how to actually open up the account. And there's a number of different platforms out there that they can use. A lot of them are very comparable. You can go look up online, just kind of compare the different pros and cons, but they're all pretty similar. One you've probably heard of them, things like E-Trade, Ameritrade, and Vanguard. And personally, I went with Vanguard, and I did that because Vanguard is the company that originally came up with the index fund, and so they have some of the cheapest index funds. And there's a portion of my portfolio that I dedicate to just that, just following an index fund. And the other thing I do too is I'm not somebody who's really day trading. I'm not jumping in there and trying to make trades throughout the day on a regular basis. Rather, I go and I find and I do a lot of investigation into one particular company and make a decision to put a large amount of money into that company and then hold that stock for a very long period of time, potentially till way into my retirement. And so I'm not doing a lot of stock trading, and Vanguard works just fine for that. Whereas maybe somebody like E-Trade or Ameritrade might be better for if you want to do multiple ones. So the other thing that I did with Vanguard is it was very easy to take my IRA, which I had originally under my credit union, and then take that and transition it over to Vanguard. And put it into a kind of attach it to a different, more an aggressive fund, and allow that to see it grow quite a bit more. So once I took it and I moved it, it was nice, it was easy, and then I saw it grow quite a bit more versus having it just sit in my credit union. So that's basically where you get started. The next step is when you click on a link, or you decide whichever platform you're going to go with, you need to come at it with just a little bit of personal information. So just like your social and your name and all that good stuff, your bank account information, which you can usually find on the bottom of the check. And then you go through a real brief kind of questionnaire application process. And if you're trying to do this and trade that very same day, it's probably not going to happen. And it's been quite a few years. I don't recall perfectly, but I believe it took a few business days to about a week before I was able to actually get in there and start trading. So if you're wanting, an instantaneous thing, that's not going to happen. They need to verify who you are and that you have that accounting information. But now we'll go ahead and we're going to look at Vanguard just because that's the one I'm familiar with. But I'll take you really briefly through on the computer just exactly how to go through that application process and get started. And we're going to do the one that I currently use, which is Vanguard.com. Actually, I'm sorry, it's investor.vanguard.com is where you want to go. And once you find the screen right here, you just go down to where it says Open an Account, and you click on that. Hopefully that'll work. Open an account. And then you have an option here, unless you already have an existing account. We're assuming for these purposes you have a brand new account. You have no idea what the hell you're doing. So you're going to go to Open up a new account. So start your new account. And once you do, they give you some options again. Electronic bank transfer, I think, is what most people are going to use. You're not going to be rolling over for some other plan or transferring other investments. And they actually have a pretty cool little video here that if you were to click on that and scroll down, there's a transcript of it if you want, but it kind of takes you through a lot of the steps I'm talking about right now. So if there's anything that's not being covered, you can go to that. All right, so electronic bank transfer, go ahead and say continue. Confirm that you are new. And then once you do, they kind of give you some quick steps of here's what we're just about to go do. You're going to need your bank account information. You're going to need your employer name and address sometimes, not always. And then you're going to pick your account type before starting your online application. So most of you are going to be doing the second one right here, which is general investing. Again, unless you're doing an IRA or something for your kids for education, most of you are going to go to this one. And then other types within that are individual or joint accounts. Again, most of you are probably going to be doing the individual one. So once you've done that, you hit continue. And here's where you fill in all your legal information. And as you do that, it'll take you on to more steps where you fill in your employer information, your bank, and things like that. But that's the beginning, and you will get an account started. And again, once you do the transfer from the bank, it'll probably take a few days before you're actually in and can make a trade. But now we'll go ahead and look at what it takes to make a trade. Okay, so once you actually have an account, this is what it looks like when you're in there. You can go to something like this, scroll down to buy and sell. That's the screen we're currently on, so I'm just reloading it. But once you're there, you can see all these different options. But for today's purposes of purchasing an actual stock, we're going to go to trade stocks and listed securities. So we click that. And that will take us to this next screen right here. And you have to pick which account you're using. I'm going to pick mine. It's blurred out because I don't want you stealing my crap. And then you're going to buy. We're going to go ahead and buy a particular stock. And let's look at Walmart. The stock ticker for that, the symbol is WMT. And once I do that, it gives me the price that it's going at current time. Now, I'm doing this on a weekend currently, and that's the price right now. And one thing I do point out is that you pretty much want to trade when the stock market's open, which is generally Monday through Friday, unless it's a holiday, from 9:30 a.m. to about 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the reason that's important is because when you're choosing a time to invest, the price that you see right here is generally about the price that you're going to get it at. Whereas if you trade after hours, which it is possible, the price might fluctuate. And so whatever you bought it at might not be the price it is when it finally executes when that market opens in the morning. So that might be a little bit complicated to understand, but basically the price could move and it might not be what you're purchasing at. So I generally try to buy just when the market's actually open. So let's say you have $1,000. You can go down to this thing right here. You can do the math and figure out how many shares you can buy, because it's the price for one share to come up to $1,000. Or you can click this little thing down here, put in your dollar amount, I'll put in $1,000, and it tells me 7 shares. So let's use that share amount. And once you pick the type that you want, which is the mark, we're going to go for market right here. It gives you the amount over here on the right of here's how much it's going to cost to buy 7 shares of Walmart right now. It costs you $947. So it's not an even $1,000. And these other ones right here, we're not going to go into them. There's different meanings behind doing those. This is the simplest of you buying it at the market price right then. And again, you click on the question mark, it'll give you little tips of like, what does each one of these mean? And it gives more of a description. So once you do that, usually we say a duration would be the day, meaning we want to execute it that very day. If it doesn't, you don't want to just this laying out there and buying at whatever price someone's willing to sell it at. So you want to go ahead and click that, and then you preview your order. Once you do that, it's kind of like the last screen before you go ahead and say, yes, I absolutely want to purchase this, and for these purposes, I'm not going to buy it right now. But it gives you, again, what you just saw. Here's the price. Here's how much it's going to cost total to purchase it, and how many shares you'll get when you're done. So I'm going to go ahead and not do that. But that is the process right there for purchasing a stock on Vanguard.com.